Okay, so here we are focusing this week on Chapter 6, Social Control and Deviance. Again, giving you a thematic overview that might inspire you to think about some issues as you focus on your discussions for the week. So, the first reflection here I was thinking about, and I've edited a collection on criminological theories. I teach a class called Crime and Society, which is a Social 106 class. And by the way, I should say if you encounter a specific topic any week in this class and you're really excited about that topic, it's pretty likely that we offer another class on that topic. We offer a class on the marriage and family chapter, and we call that Social 102, Marriage and Families. We offer the Social 106, as I said, on crime and deviance. We offer Social 104, which is called Deviance. We also offer Social 103, which is called Social Problems. So if your interest is piqued in reading any of these chapters, take another class. We offer most, if not all, of these classes in the online format at Lake Tahoe Community College. But getting back to our chapter this week, I was thinking about what makes something deviant? What makes something a crime? And very specifically, I was thinking about jaywalking. It was just kind of a random thought, but why the heck do we go after jaywalkers? So sure enough, there's a slew of research out there about jaywalking. And I won't get into depth, but if you're curious, this was, I believe, the Washington Post that did this very curious story. So you could just Google how jaywalking became a crime, and through the magic of the internet, it will pop up and you'll be able to read more about this. But what's curious to me about jaywalking is at some levels you could say jaywalking doesn't have a huge negative impact, say, on people. Now you could argue with this, because if someone is jaywalking, let's say on the Las Vegas Strip, and they jump out in front of a car, and you try to slam on your brakes, I mean, who knows? Someone else could be killed, you could be killed, you could have to deal with the trauma of hitting a person even though it wasn't your fault, this person darted out in front of you. It's still very traumatic. So I'm not saying that jaywalking is not without potential impacts on people, but it's way less dangerous or serious than, say, gun violence in the U.S. or the pollution caused by corporations as they spew all this crap and material into our environment. So we learned very initially then that a crime or form of deviance, and I should differentiate that, a crime typically can be a form of deviance. It's a violation of norms, but it's codified by law, so there'll be a law against it. Versus deviance, it's a violation of norms or rules, or could be bad taste in society. Someone might look at you funny and say that's gross, whatever you're doing, or that's inappropriate, but you're not going to be arrested. For the question for me then becomes, why the heck would someone be arrested for jaywalking? So what this particular author talks about is the decline of public space and the encroachment of our specific here. This is Philadelphia, Pennsylvania Avenue in D.C., depicted in 1874. Even back then, right, you started to see, in this case, horse-drawn carriages, and so you had maybe jaywalking going on there. People would be hit not by automobiles, but by horse-drawn carriages. But the point is, why did jaywalking become a crime in some cities? And what the author concludes is that we're protecting automobiles. So in some cases we do this because we're concerned about something totally beyond what we think we're focused on. We're concerned about people not getting hurt. We're concerned about creating order and harmony in our city spaces. Well, that may not be the case. If you've ever been stopped for jaywalking, particularly maybe where there weren't cars coming, and yeah, you didn't have the walk signal or arrows going, but someone stopped you, a police officer. This happened to me many, many years ago in Southern California. What the officer told me was that even though, again, it wasn't a busy time of the day, he said what I did was wrong, and he said I needed to go back, I think it was like 2 times, wait for the light, and cross back over, and he wasn't going to cite me at that time. And I don't know. I mean, maybe in his mind, I had broken the law, and he could have given me a ticket for that. He could have cited me with the breaking of some ordinance, which probably has a series of 10 numbers and a dot somewhere thrown in the middle behind that, some city ordinance. But my reflection on it is that this really wasn't about breaking the law. In that particular case, it was about asserting the authority of the social control agent. What we discover in many cases in crime and deviance is that it's about someone asserting their authority on you or another person. So this leads to my first question. 1, what gives an individual, a group, or a society itself, the right to control the thoughts, actions, behaviors, or feelings of another person? In my case, I'm saying, what gives a police officer the right to stop you if you're jaywalking? Should that officer have the right? If so, what is that based on? Is it based on a divine right? And A lot of laws and criminal justice statutes are developed maybe through religious orders or institutions, or protecting people from sin, protecting people from the devil, and so forth. As we move on, of course, we move into more rational laws, but even in the case of rational laws, such as those that develop through our U.S. Constitution and our Bill of Rights and so forth, even in those cases, we have to ask questions like, who has the right to assert authority on another individual? Is that authority developed through the social contract or other forces? So ask that question to yourself this week. And then secondly, would you say that it is true that one person's deviance is another person's normal? What does this suggest for our understanding of the world around us? So if I claim that something is deviant or something is criminal, what if you disagree with that? What does that disagreement say about our society? What does it say about our consciousness? Does it say anything that we share a collective consciousness in society? So these are some questions for you to ponder this week as we get into the nature of crime and deviance in sociology.